The rain slammed against the cracked windshield like life itself was testing how much more a person could endure, and beside the empty passenger seat lay a faded photograph of a father and his little girl, both smiling, both unaware of how fragile happiness could be. Michael Dawson gripped the steering wheel of his old pickup, with hands blistered from too many jobs that never paid enough, and too many nights wondering how he would stretch one meal into two for his 6-year-old daughter, Lily. Bills piled up like bricks on his shoulders, his house barely held together, and the world rarely paused to notice the quiet fight of a man who had lost so much but refused to stop trying. And if you believe in kindness, second chances, and the power of doing good when no one is watching, then comment, share, and subscribe to the channel, and tell us in the comments where you're watching from, because stories like these are proof that even broken paths lead somewhere beautiful. Michael had once dreamed of being an engineer, designing cars powerful enough to outrun heartbreak, but life had other plans. His wife, Emily, passed away after a long battle with illness, leaving him shattered, alone, and terrified of raising Lily without a partner to lean on. His world shrank into long workdays at the local garage and short nights comforting Lily when she cried for her mother. Michael's heart became a battlefield, love, grief, and responsibility colliding every morning he woke before sunrise to earn just enough for survival. Yet his eyes still held a softness, like a man who believed that giving up was not an option, even when nobody believed in him. One cold afternoon, when the wind had a bite sharp enough to remind him that winter cared nothing for poverty, Michael noticed a black 1968 Mustang stalled at the edge of a deserted road. The car was a beauty, but not nearly as striking as the woman standing beside it, pacing with frustration. Her clothes were elegant, her posture firm, yet her expression hinted at someone far more human than her polished appearance suggested. Michael pulled over, engine coughing like an exhausted old man, and though he had little to spare, not time, not energy, not warmth, he walked toward her with the same kindness that had guided him through every storm. Her name was Catherine Hale, though he didn't know it then. A woman whose calm voice carried the weight of boardrooms, empires, and decisions worth billions of dollars. To Michael, she was simply someone in need, and he offered help with humility rather than expectation. His fingers worked with practiced memory, tightening bolts, cleaning plugs, wiping grease on his worn jeans. And after an hour, the Mustang came alive with a roar deep enough to wake forgotten dreams. Catherine watched him with quiet fascination, surprised by how gentle he was with something as powerful as her car, surprised even more when he smiled like a man who expected nothing in return. Michael refused the money she offered. He told her he only wished someone would be as kind to Lily someday when she needed help. That sentence stayed with her longer than she anticipated, echoing through her penthouse later that night. Through her marble halls and silent rooms where loneliness lived dressed in luxury and luxury. Catherine had everything the world measured success by: wealth, influence, status, yet not once had she been thanked sincerely for returning kindness. Something about Michael shook her, like his generosity cracked open a space in her soul she had forgotten existed. Days passed before she found the courage to search for him. Most billionaires moved in private jets and secured meetings through assistants, but Catherine sat in a dusty garage on a folding chair, watching the man who treated cars like living beings and customers like family. She observed how he brought Lily to work sometimes when babysitters were unaffordable, how he warmed soup for her on an engine block when the microwave broke again, how his tired smile still made the room feel softer. Michael didn't know he was being watched, but his character showed even when nobody was there to applaud. Over time, Catherine visited more often, each conversation revealing pieces of two very different worlds shaped by loss, resilience, and yearning. Michael never once asked what she did for a living. He looked at her the way people long to be seen, without labels, without wealth, without masks. She found comfort in the grease-stained floor, the smell of oil and coffee, the laughter of Lily running across the room holding a toy car with chipped paint. Catherine had spent years surrounded by people who bowed when she entered the room, yet she never felt smaller or simpler, only human, until Michael. Winter grew colder, work slowed, and hardship deepened. One night, with rent overdue and cupboards nearly empty, Michael held Lily against his chest as she shivered under blankets too thin for the weather. He prayed silently, not for wealth, but for one more chance to try. The next morning, before sunrise, headlights washed over the modest house. Catherine stood on the porch with a deal that would change everything, yet she presented it gently, afraid of overwhelming a man who valued pride more than pity. She revealed her truth. Catherine Hale, founder of the Hale Automotive Corporation, worth billions, owner of factories, dealerships, and one of the most powerful brands in America. Michael stared at her like the world had shifted beneath him, not because of her wealth, but because she trusted him enough to show what she usually hid behind towering walls of privacy. She offered him not charity, but opportunity, a position designing engines at her company, a chance to bring his old dreams to life. The job came with a home, health care for Lily, stable income, everything he fought for alone all these years. Michael accepted with trembling hands, tears he tried to hide, and Lily wrapped her small arms around Catherine like an angel recognizing another. Life bloomed with the slow beauty of spring after a frozen season. Michael's ideas soon influenced new Mustang models, restoring the fire inside him that grief once extinguished. Catherine visited often, not as CEO, but as friend. Sometimes staying for dinner, laughing with Lily, finding warmth in a home far humbler than her mansion, yet richer in love. Years unfolded like pages of a book written with grace. Michael rose from mechanic to chief designer, building cars that carried stories of resilience within their engines. Lily grew happier, stronger, fearless, her childhood no longer shadowed by hunger or uncertainty. And Catherine, a woman who once ruled empires from glass offices, found something she never earned with money: belonging. Their friendship deepened, slow and meaningful, like two souls learning how to trust the world again. If this story touched your heart, if you believe in kindness that expects nothing back, then please like, comment, share, and subscribe, because your support helps stories like this reach someone who might need hope today. And before the ending, I ask you with sincerity, leave a comment for Lily, for Michael, or for anyone who is struggling right now. Let your words become light for someone in the dark. In the soft glow of evening years later, Michael, Catherine, and Lily stood beside a newly released Mustang model, its engine roaring like life resurrected. The world called Catherine powerful because of her empire, but standing beside the man who saved her heart with simple kindness, she finally understood that true wealth was not money, but humanity. Michael once believed he had lost everything, yet life proved that even broken men can rise when kindness meets destiny. And in that moment, as Lily's laughter filled the air like a promise of tomorrow, the universe felt perfectly, beautifully whole.